Hello and welcome back to Randomly Generated Conversations. I'm Wesley Sellers and I'm with my son Bastian Sellers.
Hello?
This is the podcast where we take a random conversation starter and see where the conversation goes from there. This podcast is available on Spotify, on Apple Podcast, as well as on Amazon Music. If you're listening to this on Spotify, there is a poll. Go ahead and participate in the poll and let us know what you think. All right, so today the topics are: what do you do when you're bored? How have TV shows changed over the years? Do you always have to have the latest phone? Favorite way to waste time? What trends did you follow when you were younger? So what do you do when you are bored?
Well, are we talking if I have homework or not? Because if I'm bored, I do homework. Because then I'll finish that up. But if I'm not bored, I usually try to do other stuff, like sometimes read books or play video games if I can.
Okay. Let's say during summer break when you don't have homework.
Video games, unless we're cleaning.
Well, our kids have learned not to say, I'm bored, because our response is, well, we have plenty around the house for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
What I do when I'm bored, I try to look like I'm busy. Whether that's checking emails or I don't know. Sometimes I'll play games too. Or start researching. I think research is also one of my go-tos. I love to do research, but I love when I have a topic to research. Otherwise, I just end up researching random stuff, and then I share that with my wife, and she's like, why were you even researching that? But
Yeah.
that's probably what I end up doing most of the time when I'm bored. Oh, yeah, I wanted to find out about this, and then I just start reading, and usually don't just go to the first couple sites I see. Usually when I'm doing research, I try to dig in as much as possible and get as much information instead of just what the first page of Google tells me.
Because usually the first page of Google is not anything you wanted.
Well, that too. Yeah. A lot of times I'll put in a question and it comes up with here's the answer for this, kind of a, did you mean? And it's completely different than what I was looking for.
Exactly. And when I have a paper that I've had to do for one of my classes that I have to do for one of my classes, and it's researching about different things but on the news. And the first things on the news you get is these conspiracy theories and different things that were said that are not true. And it's like, oh, well, I don't think I can use any of these.
Yeah, I used to read the news when I was bored, but I just don't enjoy reading the news anymore.
That's why I haven't enjoyed writing this paper.
I think it's important to know what's going on in the world, and I'll still catch up on that. But I used to go to the news websites and read through every single article, as well as all the comments, which never read through the comment board.
Never read comments.
Never read the comments.
Just, yeah.
But it got so tiring to the point where I'd much rather direct my interest towards something that I want to know about as opposed to just whatever is happening in latest news and all that.
Yeah.
All right, so how have TV shows changed over the years? I'll let you start with your opinion because it's fewer years that you'll be assessing, and then I'll go on how it's changed since I was a kid.
From when I was a kid, they had more of the more basic cartoons, I'd say, the more basic looking cartoons. Not saying that the cartoons are not good, that they're basic, but yeah, you know what I mean.
You're such a basic cartoon.
No. No, but you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, so the art style has changed.
Yes.
It's become more 3D-ish, looks more computer generated than drawn, where the previous ones looked more drawn. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Besides that, I think going into the content is a big thing for me. Episodes or cartoons, TV, I'm going with cartoons because that's what I watched as a kid, but it was also some of the other TV. It may have an underlying story to it, but it wasn't as deep. Each episode was standalone.
Yeah.
Even shows like Seinfeld or Simpsons or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, even Power Rangers, right? They would have an episode, and if they didn't, then it would have if it didn't finish, it would have a to be continued. And it was very rare to have an episode go over two episodes or expand over 3 episodes with to be continued. That was rare. It seems like nowadays, though, every TV show has to have this ongoing story, so you just they don't even have to put to be continued at the end because you just assume that's this continuation.
Yeah, like the new Goosebumps.
Right.
I think they put it like at the beginning, or maybe... Actually, no, they released 5 episodes of the new Goosebumps, so they never had to do that. So basically, it always ended in a cliffhanger. It's like, oh, there's the next one, there's the next one, there's the next one. Eventually, you'd like get to the last one, and you're like, oh my gosh, I had to wait till a Friday to watch the next one?
Uh-huh.
And that's what we've been doing. Me and my siblings have been waiting to watch them. Some of the episodes are questionable, but I mean, they're okay.
But that's how a lot of the seasons are, or not seasons, the shows are nowadays. So even Amphibia, would keep having a story that'd keep going on. A lot of the Disney shows.
It was one of my favorites, Amphibia. They had 3 chapters, and the creator said that he was not going to make any more, even though he probably could have made another one. He just was stuck to, I'm not making another. First chapter, like, they're there. Second chapter, they're back in the real world. Third chapter, it's both.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they tried to end it, but I think the episode before and the last episode were kind of rushed. So, yeah.
Yeah, but it had this ongoing story.
Exactly.
And that's how a lot of shows are nowadays. Both cartoon as well as non-cartoon. And it keeps people coming back, oh, I gotta wait for this next one. We still would wake up and be excited for the show.
Yeah.
But there was very few that had this continuation. I'm guessing it was kind of in the age of when I switched from being a kid to being an adult and being a parent is when a lot of that seemed to change. Going from sitcoms that were just standalone episodes to other shows. I think streaming as well probably played a part in that. Once you had Netflix and some others that would pick up that slack, you would have shows that would have this ongoing story, and you couldn't just jump in mid-season.
Yeah.
Because now streaming, you could start from episode 1. In the past, you would have to go out and rent the movie, or the TV show, sorry. Go down to Blockbuster, hopefully they had it, to the first couple episodes, but usually they only rented it by season. And so you'd have to wait till the season was done to go and rent the whole season.
Yeah.
Or to buy it. And you couldn't just, I'm going to stream these first episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. So you couldn't jump in. So they didn't have it set up that way. They had it to where you could go in and watch episode 50 of Seinfeld without having watched the 1 through 49. Same with Simpsons. You could watch episode 500, whatever they're on.
I don't know. They still have a lot, and I think they're still going too.
Yep.
I've seen like the first episode of Simpsons. It's weird.
Yeah, and that's a change over the time, but they kept them as standalone episodes. Even things like Phineas and Ferb did that, but that was not what the majority were. For little kids, yes, but ever since streaming and, I could go back and watch all these, they started to do more of the story.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to watch episode 5? that's coming this next week, well, go and watch the first 4 on the streaming platform, or get a premium channel or a premium channel streaming. You know, it's always, only on Stars or only on HBO, and you have to then get a account with them in order to watch all that, or however that is.
And then you wait, and all of a sudden it ends up on Amazon or something like that.
Right,
or
when the season's done.
You find it in Walmart for some reason. I think you can actually find episodes at Walmart too.
By season.
Mm-hmm.
But that's true, because what I'm saying is more of a issue that we've had here. If you think about anime, though,
yeah,
even back when I was a kid, anime had this ongoing story. But that's why you would I'd have the friends that were into anime prior to me getting into it, and they would go down to Best Buy and buy the box sets of season 1, 2, and 3 of something, but none of them were going down to buy box sets of, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or whatever, because they were just going to be able to watch reruns on TV anyway. They didn't need to follow that. So, yeah, with anime, that's always been a thing. But I feel like it's happened more here. Here, if you were going to have a story over a period of time, it was either a movie or you would have what they would have, it's a mini-series. So they'd have 7 episodes, and you knew that it was going to be basically a movie, so it'd have the story, but it was too long to make a movie out of.
Yeah, and I've seen actually once, don't remember what it was, but they actually had where this sort of series of like 7 you could watch in one. So like the Olaf thing that they have in Disney.
Oh yeah.
Where you can watch all of them. If you go to the last one, you can watch all of the episodes in one. I don't remember what series it was, but they also did that. And it was like an hour, 2 hours long, because there's every single episode in one.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like the ongoing story, which made sense. Why'd they do that?
Yeah, I think they did that. So, Avatar: The Last Airbender. There were certain episodes that they had, especially like the last 3 or 4 episodes. And when they released it on streaming, the last 4 were actually together on one episode. It was just a longer episode. So maybe an hour and a half or something. And because they went one right after another. So I think there's been a change that way, and I think it's due to having more availability of prior episodes to the point that they could tell a story. Not that they didn't want to beforehand, but I think the ability to do that allows them to find a way. And if there's not a cliffhanger to where somebody's like, what's going to happen? Then, in the age of streaming, if I watch some episodes and, next week this next one comes out, but there wasn't something drawing me back to it, I would get distracted by all these other shows.
Yeah, and then forget that the new episode came out.
Right.
I mean, with technological advancements, we're getting, like, new video stuff, too.
Uh-huh.
So that's why, let's go with some sort of, like, Lego movie. Looked very weird back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And now the Lego movie just looks like actual Lego pieces that look like they're actually doing things. And I'm pretty sure most of it's, like, computer-generated stuff, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with computer generated, they could do a lot of stuff. However, I still find it funny that probably the best use of CGI, in my opinion, was back when CGI was still being pushed the limits. So in Lord of the Rings, the CGI they used, because they didn't overuse it. The Uruk-hai and the orcs were people in makeup, right? But for the trolls and some of the other stuff, even Gollum, they used the CGI.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing. However, fast forward, what has it been, 20 years or more? I don't know by this point. Fast forward this many years, and we haven't done much more than that, to where movies, they'll try to put way too much CGI in there, and you look at it and be like, that looks so fake, that doesn't even look good. When they had mastered Peter Jackson had mastered this skill back. Peter Jackson, I hope that's his name. If not, I apologize to you for getting your name wrong. Had mastered that skill 20 years ago in the use with in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, there was a movie. Oh, no. Yeah, a movie that I don't remember what it was, but we'd watch it. Like, I had watched it, and all of a sudden, you could definitely see, like, with green screens that they do, you could definitely see it was a green screen, because the person would be moving, and, like, everything would shift, and you could still see slight of the green.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, you don't have to put this much CGI in here.
Yeah,
you don't have to put this much
time.
in there. It's just weird.
Shouldn't even be noticeable.
I thought
this day and age.
I thought we would have gotten smarter with it. No, we just got worse and worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we got complacent because at that point they were still pushing the limits, and now it's like, oh, we'll just throw in some CGI stuff and hope that makes up for bad acting or anything else.
Exactly.
All right, continuing. Do you always have to have the latest phone?
No.
I think that's a resounding no across the board. So, prior to having the phone I have now, my theory was I would buy the oldest phone I could get that was still supported by Apple, and I would use that phone until they no longer supported the OS that I could install on that phone or that series, and then I'd go and upgrade my phone at that point. And I was buying phones for $60, $70 as opposed to buying them for $700, $800, or $1,000.
Yeah.
And so that's how I was operating for a while, was, okay, what's the latest ones they're supporting? Well, sometimes I would get, so when I knew they were going to sunset on the 6 and I did a new one. I think I bought an 8 at that point. Worst mistake of my life. I really hated the 8 compared to the 6. So I went a couple ahead because I knew it was going to sunset soon, and I wanted to make sure I had at least a few years out of it.
Yeah, was the 8 the one that I got afterward?
No, yours was still a Series 6. It was still a CE.
Oh, okay.
So, but that one was good.
It works.
The 8 I had was the
version
glitchy
that
one? Yes, it was glitchy, and it was the version where they decided to remove the audio jack in there.
Like, you'd go up, like, also, you would scroll up and it'd scroll you down, and it'd,
Yes.
like, do that.
Yeah, it had all sorts of issues with it, but my biggest issue was not having the audio jack, because I would listen with a lot of headphones, especially at work when I was working, and I hated to have to worry about having my headphones charged. I don't want to worry about the wireless ones to where, oh, are the headphones charged? Okay, now I got to charge the headphones in order to listen to... No, I like to just be able to throw in the headphone into the jack and put them on my head.
I don't know if our phones have that.
No, ours don't. I think probably Series 7 or Series 6 were the last ones to have it. Everything since then just has the Bluetooth.
Yeah,
so
I do
AirPods.
Bluetooth stuff with my earbuds, but I wouldn't call them AirPods because they're not. They're just earbuds.
Well, they're
wireless, but I mean...
They're just as good. I know there's going to be haters that say they're not, but they're just as good for a fraction of the cost.
It's true. I didn't actually have to buy it.
I know, you
I got it from our Christmas party.
Yeah. Alright, so I think, neither of us have to have new phones. I wouldn't trust myself with the latest phone.
I wouldn't trust myself with any phone, okay?
I tend to be pretty rough on phones. So if I was buying a $1,000 phone, I don't know. I couldn't find myself doing that.
If we did get a $1,000 phone, I probably wouldn't even try to touch it. Because if I break that, it would be really expensive and I'd have to pay you guys back.
Keeping your phone in a bubble, touching it with a hazmat suit to make sure that it doesn't even get dirty.
My phone case, after a little while, and just because I was trying to take it off, I've dropped the thing from the car, I've dropped it from different places, I've accidentally kicked it, I've dropped it in the snow, hasn't broken. I try to take it off to clean this case, and it snaps, like shatters.
Well, funny story behind that. The day before, like 2 days before, he dropped his phone. We're like, gotta be careful with your phone because we don't want to buy you a new one. And he says, oh, I've done all these things to my phone and it's not gonna break. And then he goes and breaks the screen.
It's the screen protector.
The screen protector, but still, we thought it was a screen for a minute.
And
Like, a couple days later, and I'm like, what, did you just jinx yourself?
yes, I did. I started crying because I'm like, oh no, what did I do? Yeah, I expected you to be a lot more mad. But
Well,
then,
once I knew it was your screen protector, because, your mother, my wife, she broke hers this last summer. And she thought she broke her phone, but it was just a screen protector. So, favorite way to waste time? Doing a podcast with my son.
exactly.
And that's my favorite way to waste your time, too. Just kidding. This is not a waste of time. Please join us as we release twice a week. Anyway, so, favorite way to waste time?
TV shows. I'll be on, like, watch, even if it's, like, nothing.
If it's like Gabby and the Dollhouse.
That's
or,
Brianna's choice. Well, the littlest choice.
Or Lucas the Spider.
Okay, that actually is a good show. Even
Coco
though.
Melon.
No, that's still the youngest. Yeah. I think Lucas the Spider, though. Even though people are going to be like, oh my gosh, he watches that show, this and that. It's actually a good show and very, I would say, educational, but it's not. It's just cheesy. And I've watched plenty of cheesy shows. But, like, I'll be watching with the youngest, my little sibling. Anyway, I'll be watching something with her, and then I'll see, oh, there's a new little kids show recommended for her. I'll just put it on. And then I enjoy it. There's something called Number Blocks. I watched the entire thing.
And memorize the songs and everything.
Yeah, I memorized a couple of them. It was good.
Storybots. You used to watch that all the time.
Storybots is a good one too. But yeah, I'll find random series is the good series. It's not bad.
I know, but then the problem is you think you have to watch them all.
Exactly.
So, like, Henry Danger.
We haven't been able to finish that.
Something as... I don't even have a word for it as that, and you guys just binge watching it. So yes, I do know that is your favorite way to waste time. Even if you're doing homework, if you guys can't see, I have my fingers up in
Quotations.
the quotations. Homework. Oh, I put on a show for
Brianna.
for the little one, for Brianna. And you're over here more watching the show than she is. She's off someplace else. So, what trends did you follow when you were younger?
I don't know. I don't think I followed any trends. I don't think I knew about trends, even though we were in the time period of trends and stuff like that. I think me and my friends just did whatever. Like when I was younger, I have a best friend that I've known forever. And I think we just did whatever, like, we were being dumb, I think, most of the time. Just did whatever, like, we wanted to do that wasn't bad. I'd say, like, that we wouldn't get in trouble for, or we wouldn't get yelled at for. That we just do, like, I don't remember what game it was, but we'd play a game, and we wouldn't get in trouble for it, but, like, people would still get injured on accident, like me and my friend. I think it was, we threw a ball behind us. And we'd throw it in the air as high as we could and try to catch the ball. Some people would get, like, wouldn't even know the ball was coming at them. And they'd look at the ball and it'd hit their face. Or we'd play dodgeball with the giant 4-square balls they had. And we'd chuck them at each other and we'd be, like, falling onto the blacktop, what is it called? What's the type of stuff?
Asphalt?
The asphalt. Yeah, we'd fall on our asphalt. Anyway, yeah, we'd fall there and we'd get hurt. We'd get some scrapes. But that's what you get when you're little kids. I mean, there's no fun without getting a little hurt.
You kind of just marched to the beat of your own drum, didn't really follow. You collected Pokemon cards.
Mm-hmm.
That was a trend.
I kind of took some when some kids were giving some out. They were like, "Oh, what card do you want?" This and that, and then the schools banned it because of that reason.
And that kind of started your whole interest in collecting them.
Yeah, because the school banned them.
So trends like that, yeah, you didn't follow many of them, but
No.
collecting Pokemon cards was one. Blind boxes. You guys used to like
the microfigure
blind boxes and everything. And that was kind of a trend for a time.
And something sad I realized. Back in the day, we'd like do things. If we got hurt, it would be fun. Well, I like fun, but yeah, it would be fun. But nowadays, we play video games and our characters get hurt, so we don't have the risk of getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why even bother getting hurt? Because let's try not to get hurt, because this and that. But we don't care if our characters in games get hurt.
So that's why you need to get out more. To get hurt.
Yeah.
Hear that? Get outside, get hurt. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Pogs. So when I was in elementary school, I collected Pogs. I think I've told you about them. That's the only way you know. Pogs have not even made a return yet. But
we'll see. They bring back things that like you don't think they'd bring back.
Well, I thought these would be back by now. Those that don't know what Pogs are, they're these little cardboard discs that you stack, and you hit them with a metal disc in order to flip them over, and you take the ones that are flipped over, and you would gamble at school, basically. So you guys would each offer up your best Pogs, and then you'd play a game, and you got to keep the ones that you flipped over. So your goal was to try to put one good one in there and a couple that you didn't really care about. Make sure you get your good one and get the ones you want from them by sacrificing the ones that weren't. So it was I say gambling. It was really a game of skill, too.
I remember, and this was a bad trend, but I watched this trend of, we were camping with, like, there was adults, there was, like, the chaperones, and we were camping with a bunch of us, in our neighborhood, and there was a group of people that decided, you know what, we're gonna grab some of the Tootsie Rolls and bring them upstairs over to our little tent area. You had one of the adults, like, allowing this, and yeah, like, we would gamble with them.
Oh, gamble with the Tootsie Rolls?
Yeah.
We used to do that. I mean, that's not a big deal. We used to do it with apple chips, with dried apples. We would gamble with them. We'd each have a certain amount of dried apples, except for one of my sisters would just keep eating her dried apples, so she would have nothing to gamble with, and so she'd have to keep grabbing some. When you're playing around with that, it's fine.
Yeah, the Tootsie Rolls, they'd do different games and stuff with that. I wasn't involved because they said if I wanted to play, but most of them, like, didn't want me to. I'd say, but yeah.
So another trend, pencil fights. I have no idea why that was a fun thing when we were kids. You'd be
it was still fun
trying
for
to
me.
break each other's pencils. And you're like, well, one, it's a waste of pencils. And then they would often do it with the nice pencils that had like sports teams on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, seriously, what a waste. But we used to do that. Jinko jeans. So these were jeans that I used to really like. That the bottom part of the jean, so it wasn't necessarily a bell bottom because the jean, the whole leg was large going down. Where bell bottoms would flare out. But they were more worn by skaters and everything. But the bottom of the jean would be like twice the size of your shoe. So you just have these big, huge portion down there. But the pockets could literally fit a textbook in there. And they were huge. And that was a trend that I enjoyed. I liked like Airwalk shoes. So kind of, even though I wasn't a skater, I kind of liked the skater trend by way of clothes.
And I do the skater trend sometimes with my way of clothes because I am a skater. I've never done a trick and I can't do tricks.
Allegedly.
But I have a cruiser board so that I can just go for the long distance.
All right, so I think that kind of wraps up today's episode. Go outside, get yourself hurt. No, don't get yourself hurt, and if you do, it's not my fault. Go set your own trends. Go by the beat of your own drum. And we look forward to having you join us next time. Thank you.